Kayla Hounsell spent some time in that community today. And I know, Kayla, that you flew in by chopper, an interesting vantage point. What did you see?
Well, Adrian, the good news is flying over, the damage doesn't appear to be as widespread as it is here in Glace Bay and Sydney, but it is certainly devastating for people in Neils Harbor.
Take a look at this road. It's supposed to wrap around the coast, but part of it is just gone. From above, you can see the aftermath of Fiona's fury clearly. Only a few hundred people live here.
Pretty scary. About 7 o'clock in the morning, we had full-on waves hitting the side of my house halfway up my dining room window.
Adele Hatcher owns this boat.
We heard a big rumble, and then a big wave came in and took the boat and the trailer at the same time.
The trailer is this home that belongs to her 85-year-old neighbor who has lost everything. Fortunately, she was at her son's house when the storm struck.
I brought her out here this morning to look at it, and she gets pretty upset again, but she's all right now. She's not too bad.
The ocean rushed right inside her house, picking it up and moving it 6 meters. The waves crashed inside this home, too, leaving behind a mess of mucky sea foam.
It's the biggest I ever saw. Never seen the like of it. Ever in my life.
And Herbert Seymour is 93.
Yes, I like watching them, but I don't want to see no more like that. Tell you that right now.
Then there's the seafood processing plant, which ships crab and lobster all over the world and is the biggest employer in the county.
This is like the heartbeat of the community.
It suffered millions in damage.
So this concrete wall snapped in two, and the water just came in from the ocean.
These containers, each weighing nearly 58,000 pounds full of seafood, floated around like toothpicks, and there's no power.
So there's a lot of value at risk right now, and we're trying to save as much of that product as we can.
Most of the 150 employees are seasonal workers just wrapping up the season. They're hoping to be back at work next year.
It all depends how fast we can put this together. We're hoping that by April 1st next year we'll be up and running, but again, it's hard to tell.
So much devastation in a place literally surrounded by beauty.
What a mess. Kayla, you've also been on the ground here in Glace Bay, in Sydney, covering this storm. What's your sense of the damage here?
Well, Adrian, you've seen those downed trees just mangled with power lines. I really can't stress enough just how common those kind of scenes are all over Glace Bay, all over Sydney. There is also damage to buildings and homes. Those winds were just so intense, and it wasn't just the strength of them, but also the duration. There were gusts 100 kilometers or more for up to 10 hours or more.
That's crazy. Kayla Hounsell, thanks to you and to Eric who shot that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So someone who's certainly very grateful that help is on the way, needs it, is the mayor of Cape Breton Regional Municipality, Amanda McDougall. Thank you for joining us. I know you didn't sleep the night of the storm. What was that like in your living room?
Yeah, there was not a wink of sleep. My husband and I had just traveled up from Halifax trying to beat the storm, and I sat on the couch. I sat on the couch because I've got patio doors on one side, big picture window on the other, lights down low, computer blazing, and listened. I heard and saw the progression of the storm. Big, giant gusts of wind hitting the windows and the house in ways that I've never heard before.
And I know you're particularly worried right now. I know the wind is gone, but what is it that worries you in this moment?
So the biggest worry I have right now is the fact that, prior to any storm, we tell residents, prepare for 72 hours. Prepare food, water, the necessities that you're going to need to keep your family safe, and tomorrow we're getting to that 72-hour mark. We're all reliant on generators right now. Those generators are feeding people, they're keeping people safe. People are coming together at houses with generators, but we're running out of fuel. Same thing with food.
One last thought. We all often say that storms don't discriminate, but it kind of did here.
I seen it. And so, yeah, you can drive around any nook and cranny of the CBRM right now, and there is debris, trees down, just general power lines down. But where I see the biggest damage to homes, structural damage, are really the areas in our community that we see higher levels of poverty. You see more regional housing supports there. And the devastation that I'm seeing in those communities is irreparable. And I feel like Fiona's force really honed in on those most vulnerable.
Well, that's where the work is cut out for you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you for coming
Appreciate
here.
it.